I'm one of those people that walk around when I teach. It's basically one of the things that you look at if you want to first start thinking of color. And yeah, those three things I taught you, the primary, secondary, tertiary, it's going to come up whenever you start thinking about, where should I go from here? Because think of this as the launching off point for the rest of your projects. And you're going to get to the point where you won't need to look at the color wheel to think about color right away. You'll just become like kind of ingrained in you. But when I was just starting out, I would just look at it to see, okay, what goes where? Now, what do I mean by what goes where? We're going to step 2. We're going up a level. Level 2. Let's go. Everyone start running. Okay, we're in chairs. Wait. Where we're going to go? All right, you just learned that little thing. Am I going too fast? If everyone good? Cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, like save some, or there'll be a little bit of Q&A time. But now we're going to start thinking a bit deeper about the colors. Now you know what the colors are. Now you know what the colors are labeled as. You know what an orange is, perhaps even a periwinkle. But what about some of the other terminology? Monochromatic. It means literally one color. Now, monochromatic is, as you can see, wait, how did I turn that? Oh, my boob punched the camera. So basically, it's just one color, but different shades of it. Like you take that one color, you lighten it, then you lighten it more, you lighten it more, and then on the other side, you got to darken it more, darken it more. When you take color theory classes in college or art workshops, they usually have you make a monochromatic scale as one of your first projects. And the thing that will help you teach you is how colors look when they get, well, darker and lighter, but also how much you can get from just using one color. So now it's time for an exercise. Take one of your crayons or colored pencils or markers. I want you to try and make a dot that's as dark as you can get it, one that's as light as you can get it, and then try and go between them. You got like about 2 minutes. Let's go. Blue? Like take, there, I'll make it, let me just do a live demo of that, because I'm one of those people that also learn better when I'm watching someone do it. I'm doing a digital version of this. Let me just change the opacity of my thingy so it makes more sense. All right, so I'm going to use this red. Stop it. Make new layer, damn it. Okay. Oh, I made opacity a bit too low. And I'm taking the opacity and I'm taking it down. Now, if you're working traditionally, like with a regular pencil paper, you're going to use the pressure of your hands to make things lighter or darker. So yeah, take that. Give you a minute. Yeah, this is very much we're going to speed run art school. This is Grand Theft Art School right now. Art school speed run. Don't get eliminated. All right, we're going to do this for another minute. If you already done it with one color, you could just move on to another color and try it out. Who here is using digital like I am? Okay, no, one person. Yeah, so just asking so I could see whether I should keep the advice very traditional or digital right now. Who here is already a digital artist? All right, so a lot of you are digital artists, and the rest of you are more traditional. All right. Good, that gives me feedback so I know what point to get to next. Oh, up here. I'll grab you one. Yes. Yes, you got it. Yep. Okay. All right, y'all finished that. Welcome, you just made us color scale. Grand Theft Art School. A color scale is basically the monochromatic scale that everyone does in color theory class. Now, I guess we could go to level 3. You didn't know this was going to be like a video game, did you? Now we're going to learn about how these colors interact with each other. Because let's take an example. Look at my shirt. It's cool, isn't it? Got it at a thrift store. You can see how the different colors react to each other. You can see how the bright parts of the shirt stand out because of the black. You can see how this indigo complements the green, things like that. Why? Because going back to color wheel, we got complementary colors. Complementary colors are colors that are across from each other and they complement one another. Like, here's some examples I have right here. Like, come on. You got purple and yellow. You got Christmas. And you got Denver Broncos? Muppets. So yeah, if you want to know what colors are complementary to each other, they're just straight across the wheel, like this. Now I'm on that layer, right? No, I'm not on that layer. Straight, like, come on. Straight, like this. So straight across the thing. Oh, am I in the way of the thing? Yes. After that, we have split complementary. Oh, now, I think we're about to hit level 4 here. Split complementary is when you take one of the colors on a color wheel and then get 2 of them, like, that are just splitting off from it. Kind of like this. You notice how... Nope, wrong layer. Come on, get on the right layer. Basically, it's kind of like a Y configuration. Like, if you drew a Y on here, you would have a split complementary right there. And here's some little color palettes that I made just with that. And then you have analogous colors. I like to just call them neighbor colors. Those are colors that are just basically right next to each other on the color wheel. And you could even mix that with, say, take analogous colors. I'm not sure if I even spelled that right. I am sorry. Take analogous colors, but also add in a split complementary. So you have like maybe all of these. Let me just get on that. So let's just say you have all of like 1, 2, 3 colors. But then you add in one of these. Imagine what you can get with that. Maybe you'll get something like, let's take that. Maybe you get something like a moonlit sky. You got the sky. Maybe you got a little ocean. Maybe you got the glitter of the ocean. And then maybe you got a bright moon. And then you're like, I could make that brighter. And then you're like, maybe it needs a little boop boop bitty boop doo. Wait, this is night. Hey, this isn't the sun. This is nighttime. So let's put that reflections on the water. And then you realize, hey, it needs a little bit of white here, like that. Maybe some stars. And that is just really quick, just making a little like scene like that with just knowing how to use colors in a certain way, just knowing like these warm colors are going to interact great with these cool colors. And I'm gonna teach you another technique that I'm kind of doing right now just because of out of habit. So, new exercise. Take 2 of your colors that are warmer. Take 1 of your colors that are cooler. And I want you to just make a little color sketch. Do a little scene or draw a flower using those colors. Try to use a mixture of analogous and split complementary. I'll give you about 3 minutes to do that. Yes, so like you could use a split complementary or you could do an analogous with a split complementary. Here's an example, another example. Time to make a new layer. You know how I just did Did that little scene like there? I really love purples. I also really love things next to the purples. I like this fuchsia. I like this more reddish thing. And I'm going wild with the saturation. I'm going to get into tints and shades in a few minutes. Let's get something thing. And then let's go wild and go right directly across this color wheel. Let me fix the camera. Let's go right across the color wheel. Doop, doop, boop, boop. Huh. A bright thing. Now, make that color palette, and I'm just say, let's just make something really abstract real quick. Maybe this can be some dirt. Maybe this could be a thingy. I know it looks like a highly saturated mess, but I'm just really doing this for the example. All right, so do that. Play with those colors you chose for another about 2 minutes. Here, let me put back up the example of Anagales. And let me put up split complementary. Remember, split complementary is just making a Y shape on the color wheel. Is everyone understanding this so far? All right, just want to make sure everyone got a little clarity, because sometimes when you're so inside baseball, you kind of forget how to show someone how to throw the ball. Does that make sense? What you say? Yes, we don't need anyone getting hit in the face. I like that. Hey. Oh. Why is the color wheel structured the way it is? That's a good question. I don't know. My theory is just that it makes more sense than having a line of the colors like in a rainbow, because that way if it's in a wheel, you can make do the directional things of complementary. You could see which one acts next to each other, see how they act across from each other. So I think it's just ease of understanding is my theory. Otherwise, that's a good question I never thought of, and I'm going to look that up when I'm done, because the color wheel, like color theory, it goes back to the Bauhaus school in Germany back in 1940s, like this particular brand of teaching color theory. And they still teach it that way in schools and in books, but you do make a good point on why is it taught the way it is. You just added some depth to this, or depth to my thought process. All right, let's do one more minute of your exercise, and then we're going to move on. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, don't be afraid to be abstract. Remember, perfection is the enemy. When you're learning, make crappy things, because that's how you learn. Just curious. What are some of y'all making? Flowers, little abstract art, shapes? Oh, that actually looks really good. That pops. You reminded me I should talk about popping. All right. So you have completed level 4. R5? No, we're going into level 5. Congratulate yourselves. This is Grand Theft Art School, the RPG. Holy shit. That's it. I'm submitting that next year. Grand Theft Art School RPG. So now we're going to talk about hot versus cool. Now, name something hot. Me. But name something cool. Thank you. You get an A. So, hot colors and cool colors, they interact with each other. When you think of your artwork, think of the hot versus cool, because the hot will always stand against the cool, and the cool will always just look great against the hot. I forgot words. But let's take a little example here. Nice little blue background. I wonder what happens if, oh no, it's a dragon. A dragon has now attacked. What am I going to do? Now, look at that. That is actually using the complementary colors we just talked about, orange and blue. But it just looks a little bit of lonely with just being orange. I mean, there's no dragon that's just all orange with its clothes being orange and everything else being orange. So you add some base colors. Now, I'm going to talk about some of my process here because it's hard to exactly say how the process works without generally doing it. Since I put the background color first. Now, if you already have a background drawn, just put what the mood of that background is going to be. Like, say if I had some trees back here, but yet I put the blue there. That's kind of setting the tone for the scene. And then I made the character orange to stand out in that scene. But when I was choosing the base colors, I chose them kind of based around this skin tone. And I chose warm colors. Oh, stop that. I chose warm colors around it, like chose this brown, which is like basically the same color but lower down on the color scale that we did. I chose this red because it's analogous to it. It's also in the hot spectrum. Some of the metal items are actually more of a bluish gray because, well, I just think bluish gray stands out a lot more, and it gives it more metallic than more of a warm gray. However, warm grays do work. And what do I mean by warm grays? It's basically grays and colors that just look warmer, that have maybe a little undercoat of yellow or red. I should get more into that. But then I noticed there is something off with these base colors. Now I'm going to show you this technique that you can use traditionally and digitally with the help of a phone. All right, so one thing I do is I take a layer, I make an extra layer, I make it all white, and then I set the layer mode to color, which turns the whole thing into, wait, what did I just do? Oh, okay, there we go. It sets the whole thing to black and white. Now, can anyone tell me what's kind of off here? All right, yes, white hair. Like, what's off about the color specifically? I know my art's kind of whoa. Yes, you notice that the color of the wrench kind of, it just looks like their body, their skin. Any other thing? Because I see it right there. Any other thing? Contrast. Thank you. Now, does anyone not know what contrast is? Contrast is basically the light and dark of things. Like when you turn something into black and white, you can see what parts are the darkest. You can see what parts are the lightest. So this is a good test, but you're a traditional artist. What do you do then? Behold, the phone. The phone, or smartphone, is this special device, this box that you could take a photo of your work with. And then you could take that photo in this camera program app. Yes, I know, this is some new technology. And then you take that photo on your phone and make that black and white. And wow, you see another world. Another thing I learned in art school was to just kind of squint your eyes to see like how the contrast is. However, since I sometimes wear glasses, it doesn't work. So I use the phone technique if I'm doing traditional painting or sketching or things like that. But if you're just using digital programs like Procreate, or if you're a Clip Studio ho like me, then doing that is great. So I noticed that. And then, boom. After color check, I added that contrast that was missing. I added that contrast that was missing. The bandana looked like just one color when it's supposed to be like two. The wrench made it a little bit darker. And now let's see how it is in color. So yeah, let's compare. Before the color check, after the color check. All right, so now now that someone mentioned contrast, it's time to go into, okay, y'all shut off. All right, tints, shades, and saturation. Who doesn't know what tints are? We're in level 5 now. All right, so tint is basically how light something is. Shade is how dark something is. And saturation is how bright something is. Now, knowing these things, also known collectively as value, is how you're going to look at your artwork and determine, hey, I need to make these colors more balanced. Let's get down to the demo. Now, there's shadows. Now, in the digital art world, everyone says, is it okay to just use black? No, yes. Yes, you can actually you can use black to shade. You can't, but there are other things you can use to shade. And I'm going to show you that in this tiny demo. Let me put down the mic because I can't draw and hold mic. Boo. Let's go back to our dragon. It needs a name. Who wants to give it a name? Did you say sire? Spyro. Spyro? I think Spyro's taken. Spiro, okay. Sup, you got a name, Spiro? Alright, so there is always this kind of thing in the art community online. Whether you could use basically black as the shadow. Let's say the light source is, pro tip, always make sure you know where your light source is. I like to just make a layer and then put L, and I do these lines to point where the light will be hitting. And then I will do one, I say a lot, shadow, where the main shadows will be hitting. And I just have that on a separate layer, so it helps me know what I'm doing. You get what I mean? Okay, so yes, you can color with black. However, I find that it's more beneficial to do this instead. All right, I'm just gonna do some wild coloring right now. Let's see. But I actually make noises while coloring at home. Yeah, darkness is hitting all of that because it's dark. And then normally I would just do you could lower the opacity. You could just do a multiply layer. You could do a darken layer, a color burn. You do have some options here. But I feel like you could get more from doing this instead. Now, I think you should take some notes because I'm about to blow your mind. First off, let me erase everything. Erase the sins of my nature. Okay, I erased the sins of my nature. Remember when I taught you about complementary colors? Now you can use the opposite color to shade. Here. All right, so we got this orange dragon. What's complementary to orange? Blue. Why not use blue? But not just any blue. Let's make that a darker value. Actually, no, that's too dark a value. That's basically black. Okay. A darker value. Do I have this? There we go. I have it on color burn at the moment. Let me bring it back to, I don't know how to bring it back to normal. Let's bring it back to normal. I have it on a color mode right now. Now it's coming off as a bit brown, but it's looking more blue on the white parts. I just feel like using a complementary color to shade instead brings a bit more, like a different depth to the colors, especially since the area around it is what? Blue. The area around something can also determine the colors of its shadows and light as well. Let me get off of, not multiply layer, normal layer, there you go. So layer modes is something that is in digital programs, but what about if you're traditional? If you're a traditional artist, you could just plan this out ahead of time on a separate piece of paper. Like I will do like a few studies before doing something traditionally of just trying out the colors. So right now, what I want you to do while I do some of the shading work is just draw something, anything. Draw like a shape, a triangle, a ball, a square, a cube. In fact, a cube is a good thing. And then I want you to make one of the sides of the cube or one of the parts of the ball darker, but using a complementary color. Also remember your pen pressure, making it to make things lighter or darker. And we'll do that for another like let's say a couple minutes. We'll give it a couple minutes. Yes. Can someone pass down the sharpener? Ah, yes, you're getting it. Now, you're making it a bit more intense in the saturation, but yeah. Now, one thing to note is when you're coloring that other side, kind of start going light before you go darker in your thing. All right. So now, while you were doing that, I changed the dragon a bit. How bright is this? It's brightness. Nope. I changed the dragon a bit because I noticed something. The blue looks great as a shadow on the dragon, but on other things, I used black. You can use black sometimes and thing, but what I like to use black the most for. Let me pull up a layer. It's just more of a, I like to go in with a smaller brush and just add a little bit boost of shading. Now, honestly, like using coloring with lighting, that could be an entire class itself. In fact, maybe I should have made that an entire class itself. All right, so now color check. It's always good to do a color check even after that, but what about lights? Now, we're about to do something. Now, with what you just did, the cube, I want you to make another one, but while you're coloring it in, make one part lighter. Make it lighter by using pen pressure. You can also do this with a sphere, making one part lighter. And I will do a little demo of lighting. Now, what I'm about to do with this dragon is I'm going to add some light to it. It's already pretty warm colored, but it's also, they're around all this blue. Are they in a ocean? Are they in the cold of night? So why not use a blue as the lighting source? I don't know, Vega, this sounds like some radical shit I'm hearing you think. Just kidding, I'm not telekinetic yet. Come on, Mike, stay up. Yep, wrenches definitely have some light shining on them. This is just a very quick way of just putting down the colors. When I'm doing a sketch, I usually just do like a quick color sketch of, okay, blah, 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 what goes here, blah, 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 and then I refine the details a lot later. You're getting the ad hoc Vega right now. And of course, I look at the color modes, see what I can change the color modes to. I just like with shadows, I feel like using a complementary color or a lighter version of that complementary color adds a new type of depth to the work. And of course, check out your opacities if you can. If you're doing traditional, highly suggest again doing some color studies before you start doing your final work, so you can have your color palette all ready to go. Actually, I think this comes off more pinkish, so let's see. Color dodge. Makes it look white. Add. Ooh, makes it look bright. Overlay. Overlay. Definitely overlay. But you look at this and you're wondering, what about the pants? Well, the pants are so dark that sometimes if it's a really dark area, I will just use white or black and white for it. It's more of a situational thing. So if you ever hear advice saying don't use white and don't use black, the real advice is don't use white, don't use black, but also use white and black for certain things because it's more complicated than that. I need an acronym. Don't depend on black and white. Thank you. All right, so now we have completed, I guess, level 6. Yay! Now we're going to talk about some light. How? Why? In this economy? Can we afford to have light? Yes, the lights are on. So when it comes to light, it's kind of like, well, a big topic. Lighting itself can be its own class. I like to just look up examples of lighting by taking my own reference, pretty much. I take reference by either putting the light on myself or I look up reference online on Tumblr, Pinterest, Instagram, things like that. Sometimes I look at what other artists are doing with lighting. Now, who doesn't know what I mean by that? Okay, everyone gets what I mean by that. Just lighting on whatever subject it's basically when the light hits you on whatever subject. Like, you take a flashlight. Hey, everyone has flashlights now on their phone. These magical devices. Oh, no, I don't want to didn't want to screen cap. Okay. Actually, it's hard to see right now, but actually, yeah, it's really hard to see. It's so bright in here, damn. But it's basically the light on a subject and how it's hitting it. Like what I was doing with a little dragon friend here, trying to make the light hit it. And that's when the whole tints and shades come back into play. Go away, dragon. Stop it. Go away. Ah, stop it. Stop it. Oh, stop doing stuff. So that's when all of the shadows as well as the tints, shades, but where does saturation come in? Well, now we're going to learn about saturation, because time to make a new layer. Oh, go away, blue background. Now we're going to learn about saturation. Saturation is the brightest of the colors. Like, look at this orange. This is some bright, you know what? Wrong brush. We're going to need the round brush. This is some serious shit now when you use the round brush. Look at this nice, bright orange. Look at this nice, bright thing. It's Splatoon! Oh, man. And what if I use... Now, there's another type of color palette that you can make where you use the middle between 2 points, kind of like a bigger Y thing. What if I use this? Oh, my God, it's Hardee's? But it's a bit too eye-straining, don't you think? Especially you say, man, I really want some green, and I add in this big-ass green. Now, you're wondering, why are the colors like this? Why is it hurting me? That's because saturation. Saturation is the brightness. Now, what if I took this color palette that I just made? No, stop that. What if I made this blue lighter, more gray? Huh. Interesting. It's more of a... Interesting. What if I made this even lighter? Now we are playing with the saturation of tones. Like, remember when you did the color scale? Basically, you can make your color palettes, and when you make your color palette, you're basically can take the darker ends of certain colors and the brighter ends of certain colors and just put them all together into this like color palette that's actually not eye strained. Now, why can't you have all of your colors saturated at the same level? One, it'll look muddy. What will help with the contrast is having some of the colors be, more subdued. It'll help the colors that you really want to pop, such as accent colors. Let's see. Sorry, lost my notes real quick when I took that camera. Also, remember that composition and color can help you lead your eye around. Let me pull up my thing for that. This is from a book I really love. I really recommend. It's called The Fastest Way to Improve Illustration by Naoki Saito. He does lots of videos on YouTube, and he did a whole book on improving. His color one goes into it, because notice his example here, how you have your base colors, the assorted colors, and the accent color for the whole work. But notice this example. If you increase the area of all of the, make everything highly saturated. In comparison, this one looks more like pop. This one looks more, show ready than, oh my God, DeviantArt. So yeah, this is a lesson. Here's some homework, I guess, if you're a digital artist. Take one of your old arts and kind of think about the saturation and then change it. Another thing I want to show y'all. Done. Go away. Okay, wrong folder. Vigo Y. Okay, I think I lost that other thing I wanted to show you. I am sorry. It was just a work from Mika Picasso, how she uses color as her, like, how to direct, like, how do I describe it? How to direct color around the frame bound to composition. Sorry I lost that. So I guess I'll just have to draw it. Draw what I mean. Let's say I'm a little person. No. Okay, let's get out some black. I'm a little person, short and stout. This is my hand somehow, and this is my other crab claw. Doop. I am red too. Oh, what? No. Red. Procreate. Stop. I am red as well. Doot boop doop boop doot 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 doot. But there's lots of cool accents happening in the background. There's some light color over here. Oh my God, McDonald's colors. Color psychology is color psychology should be an entire major. Like, you could use all these warm colors in the front. What about the back? What if the back is all really like nice and cool? What if the back is nice and cool? Like, we'll make this part super saturated. Kind of make it a vignette. I guess another example I could do is this dragon is just in such a lonely little background. Maybe it just needs a little environment. How we're going to do that? We're just going to make kind of a semblance of a little environment. Like, let's say make this like a tree shape. Let's say it's in a night zone, a sort of thing. But everything is still in that blue color palette. Now, normally when I do backgrounds, I will like do a little, just everything in one color, just so I know the tone of it, and then I'll put in the actual base colors over it and use opacity. And you have all the darkness around it, kind of framing the subject. So color can also be used in composition. Now, one of our last exercises of the day is I want you to create a color palette. But I don't want you to just create a color palette just from your head. I want to give you some options. I want you to create a color palette from inspiration. One of the things that I use as reference sometimes is just what's around me. I look at this mixer and I'm like, what if I take the colors from that for this? I look at an piece of art I like from a famous artist like Mark Rothko or something. And like, I like how he used his colors here. I want you to take like maybe 4 or 5 colors that you have with you, share if you need to, and just take some inspiration and choose 5 colors from that. Make sure one of them is at least dark, make sure one is very light, and make sure they work in the terms of the hot and cold thing. I'm gonna put up the color wheels so you know. Remember, primaries, you got your secondaries, you got your tertiaries, and you have your hot and cold. No, stop that. You have your hot, you got your cold, you got your color palette. You got your split complementary. Just start thinking about the colors you have. You got another, let's say 30 seconds, because I want to get y'all to the last exercise. No, no, it's no problem. Go. Oh, no problem. Now, I don't have a card, sadly, but I'm Viga's art room everywhere.
I think I was trying to like look it up before. It's Vegas art.
VIGA. VIGA.
VIGA.
Art room. Arts room. Art room. Viga's art room.
Vegas art room?
Yes. That's me.
Alright, you'll be an extra?
Yes, I'm here every year.
I just found out about you.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I love it.
Every time I come, this is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. With Naoki Saito? Yes, his YouTube channel, watch it. It's the best. All right, so now we're going to the final exercise. What do I have for store? Notice how you got all of these great little coloring pages of animals, of our mascots this year from MAGFest. I want you to use everything that you learned and the color palette that you just grabbed to color your work. Color that line art. And I just want to put up a QR code. This is my reference pile. Now, my reference pile, it goes to my Tumblr that is filled with, it's just basically my Tumblr page of all the inspirations I get for lighting, color palettes, everything. And it goes to all of those tags. So you can use that. But yes, use everything that I just taught you in this high-speed, how to color Grand Theft Art School RPG. And once you complete it, I will graduate you to the next level. Okay, so y'all coloring your things, you got your reference thing. I would like to see some of y'all work, if y'all don't mind. Otherwise, does anyone have any deeper questions about color? Oh, nice, I love your color palette there. Oh, yes. Yes, go ahead. If you want to show me what you got or what you did, feel free. If you have, this last 5 minutes is just for maybe some questions that are a bit more deeper in the woods, or maybe something you just didn't understand that I already went over. Oh my God, your style. I must pick. Please, is that okay?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I share it on socials?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, you're right. I forgot. Thank you. I'm an idiot. All right, let's show off some work. Good job. All right, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Brianna. Hello.
Oh, where can we follow your art?
Nowhere.
Oh, you don't?
No. Yeah.
Oh, you should. You should.
Yeah,
This is.
I should. It's one of my to-do lists.
This is some Leiji Matsumoto inspired a little bit. It looks like.
Yeah.
Highly look up Leiji Matsumoto's style. It's very much of that old shoujo aesthetic.
Yeah, definitely. I like shoujo.
Oh, this is very also Lady Oscar, Rosa Versailles.
Love that show.
I knew you had to love Rosa Versailles
Absolutely.
as a
Yes,
fellow person in Lolita fashion.
Indeed,
Yes.
yes.
This is beautiful. And I love the color palette. Especially look how it's like all these warms and the cool colors on the face is just I love it.
I would probably do a different blue if I could, because
Yeah.
it's like not quite warm enough. But
Well,
it's hard to layer with the crayons.
Yeah. The reason why I have you choose a limited color palette is because too many colors can get complicated, and sometimes few colors is best to start with, and then you branch out. Anyone else want to show their work in the last couple minutes? Okay. Anyone got any questions? We got 2 minutes left. Any more deeper questions about color that you thought of? Okay then. All right. So we got a couple more minutes here. Just continue coloring. Let me put this back up. I'm just going to be kind of cheeky and show y'all my social media for no reason at all. maybe show you my VGen where I have, oh, come on, I had internet upstairs. I had it upstairs. Yeah, it definitely is not. Oh, wait, I have a phone. I'm an idiot. That is true. All right, let's zoom in. Oh yeah, that looks kind of shoddy on my off of my phone. Yeah, it looks kind of weird off of my phone for on the display, but if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Viga's Art Room. I'm also Viga's Art Room on Blue Sky, TikTok, but I'm getting off of that. YouTube Shorts, Instagram, VGen, YouTube, anywhere. And yeah, it is 2 o'clock, so we're going to have to get out of here, but you have now graduated to level 6. That means now you have your pretty much your beginners. I implore you to go and keep going deeper into color. Look up other artists. Look up reference. Get palette inspiration from fashion, people, nature. And of course, never stop learning because art is a journey. It is a marathon. You don't just learn everything at once and you're done because I'm still learning and I've been doing this for years. Thank you all for coming and I hope you have the great last few hours of MAGFest.